si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jasna your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garmi yi ndaxte quality jasna amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi. Ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jasna amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jasna ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi. Makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jasna si 250 01 24 ak quality jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it dëggal sa alaaji aas.
This is the first press conference organized by Kairaba Conservation and Leadership Organization. This organization is inspired by this declaration, the Banjul Declaration that was given to the nation about 48 years ago in 1977 by the late Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, in whose memory and whose legacy this organization intends to promote and keep alive. As I said, this is the first press conference prior to the first event in the centenary celebration program around Sir Dawda's 100th year birthday. And we're happy that you are all here. And now I'd like to give the floor to the chairman to open the press conference, and for our friends in the media, after his presentation, if you have any questions, you can ask directly. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taberu, the first Secretary General of the Kairaba Conservation and Leadership Organization. I extend also greetings to all of you present and for making the time, and to thank you very much for being part of this first event of the organization. But before going with my remarks, I would like to present the rest of the members of the Board of Trustees who are present here. And maybe it would be even better if all of you hear from them who they are, just so that we can make this as informal and as intimate as possible. Of course, on my left here is Her Excellency Ramzia Diab Khanem, formerly Gambia's ambassador and High Commissioner to Malaysia and Southeast Asia, covering countries as diverse as Indonesia, Philippines, and the rest of those South Asian countries. Following Her Excellency is Professor of Agronomy, Dr. Sidat Yafa, Director of WASCAL and Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia. Professor Yafa is both an academic, a consultant, and also a rancher. He has been interested in modernizing agriculture and agronomy. He has written extensively in agricultural development, mechanization, and currently as the champion of climate adaptation, climate change, and climate education at Wascal. And we are very appreciative of his involvement and contributions to the growth of the Kairaba Conservation and Leadership Organization. As you can see, we are in his premises. He has given to this organization a lot already. Tomorrow's event also is being funded by him. And we cannot say enough about him. Of course, he will have the opportunity to say one or two words about his own take on the Kairaba legacy, as the Secretary General has said. After Professor Yafa is my own Kotoke, former permanent secretary, former SEALS officer. Abdullah Danso is also a natural resources management expert and has diverse experience of close to 40 years in public service, and now he's a gentleman in retirement. They were among the first cadre of forestry officers when the forest reservations and designations were made in the late 70s and early 80s, around the time the declaration was made. So he has been our own action man, and he has been pushing a lot for the development, organic development of the organization. On my right is the Secretary General, Honorable Mbemba Tambedu, is a politician of repute in the First Republic. He was briefly also a minister under President Jammeh. And his earlier life was more colorful, more interesting. Actually, on the day the declaration was being read by Sir Dawda, he was the staff on duty at Radio Gambia on the Independence Day in 1977. So he has a very intimate and personal history of the declaration, arguably one of the finest broadcasters of the Gambia, especially in post-independence era. Of course, most of us in this room wouldn't know or remember that. Last but not the least, Mrs. Aissata Cham Drame is the last daughter of the great MC Cham. Of course, she is herself a university student and has been very active in media development. She's also Mr. Haruna Drame's wife and partner. She has been helping us with our media ideas and media visibility. So on that note, I will go back to Her Excellency to say one or two things, because this is the first event. So everybody in the media, everybody in the Gambia should hear at least one or two things, because we have a very, very rich team of leaders at Kairaklo, and all of us have been giving every ounce of our energy and every dime of our time have been given freely. So Kairaklo is a voluntary organization. It is a non-partisan, non-denominated, non-profit organization. It's dedicated to the development of the nation using the Banjul Declaration as inspiration. Your Excellency, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Already given a wide scope of what the Kairaklo is all about. We came up with this concept one day when I was talking to Mr. Almami Tal on the phone, and coming back home after my mission, and trying to see what else we can do to contribute into the to our country. We came up with this concept whilst talking about the global warming, what was going on in the environment and the wildlife that we used to have. And then we came up with the idea that the Banjul Declaration was written by Sir Dawda in 1977 when I was in high school. And all what he wrote is what we are seeing today happening in the environment with the global warming and our wildlife that has been extinct. We had so much here that had not been taken good care of, that we've lost already to deforestation and all these things. So we are active in this concept. And we will put our time, our energy, everything into it to make sure that we continue with the legacy of what Sir Dawda had started. So that's how that created the birth of Kairaba Conservation Organization, which was a concept that we all created. And fortunately for us, anyone we approach could see the vision that we have and put all their energy. Like he said, it's a voluntary organization, it's non-partisan. So here we are.
At its infancy, Kairaba Conservation Leadership Organization. I was contacted less than 2 months ago by the secretary, Honorable Member Tambedu, to consider to join this organization. And I jumped on it immediately because I know what it stands. I know what the Banjul Declaration means. I want to let you know, everybody know, the Banjul Declaration, in my opinion, is the precursor to the creation at the United Nations, we call Intergovernmental Committee on Intergovernmental Committee on the Convention on Biological Diversity. The Banjul Declaration was made in 1977. This UN agency, we call it ICCBD for short, was created in 1993 in Nairobi, Kenya. So I believe it's because of Sir Dawda's vision, even at the global level, not only in the country, but at the global level, that led to the creation of this United Nations international body. And secondly, the reason why I jumped on it is because Sir Dawda, in our tradition in the Gambia, is my father-in-law. He's the father of my young brother's wife, Jare Jawara. So anything that is geared toward that Jawara family, I'm ready to stand up. Good. To the WASCAL program.
I've been kind of contacted by His Excellency Member Tembedu. I mean, we had discussions on that. Of course, my background is in natural resource management. What makes it very interesting to me, when we first discussed this, you can see from this declaration, 1977, just a year after I joined the forestry department as a young high school graduate. I mean, then we never thought of, what it would be today as far as the forest ecosystem looks like today. Because when we joined forestry then, I mean, there's evidence then that the forest existed, it was deep. And then, of course, we have a diverse species in existence. But of course, what I can say, I mean, His Excellency, the President then, Sir Jawara, is a visionary leader. For the fact that he saw in advance, many years ago, what would be the future of this country as far as the natural resource management is concerned. That's the ecosystem. We have realized many a time complaints of the destruction of the forest, the natural resources, not limited to the flora, taking into account also the fauna. And of course, as it is evident from this declaration, from the background, you can see that, I mean, it talks a lot more than what we can even express by words. So when he talked to me about this particular organization and what the vision, the objective, and the mission is, well, I really got encouraged because, sincerely speaking, it's in my blood when it comes to natural resource management. I mean, of recent, when I heard of the annexing of a particular, or I would better use that word to be more diplomatic, by some scrupulous individuals of a particular community forestry being transferred to a private organization to be cleared for settlement. I felt it so much so that I started contacting colleagues, former colleagues in the natural resource management. What can we do? But luckily enough, and I will take this opportunity to really sincerely thank the Minister of Natural Resource Management or Environment and Natural Resources, Rohit John Manjang, for taking the steps to arrest that situation by reverting the situation, and hopefully it will get back to the rightful owners, which is the community of that particular village. So these are some of the reasons why I really got interested in joining the organization, so that we can stand on our feet and get things reorganized and kind of reclaim what has been lost, and where possible restore the beauty of what the natural resources can contain, and that's the fauna and the flora, and of course conserve our land resources, the rest of our land resources. Farming is becoming a nightmare for most farmers now, simply because we've destroyed most of the natural resources that had existed and provided the privileges, the opportunities, the right environment for the farmers also. So I think this particular organization, the way I see it, and I'm convinced that it is in the right direction, that we take these necessary approaches to see how best we can help the communities, because we'll be working with the local communities, the grassroots level, to see how best, and other institutions, the civil society organizations and government organizations, to see how best we can, at least together, restore some of what has been lost. So now we have made a lot of contacts with other stakeholders, international, national, and just to see and to tell them exactly what our position is in terms of restoring what has been lost, and also reviving and ensuring that there is life on this declaration. And on that note, thank you very much.
These esteemed individuals who are committed to making a positive change to our planet. And also, Sadauda was a great leader. He was a champion of democracy. And he was also known for his dedication to environmental conservation and the biodiversity protection, which includes the flora and fauna. So I am privileged to be amongst this group in preserving his legacy through preserving our environment. So I'm really glad to be invited, Mr. Damido. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go back to the chairman for his official presentation of Kaira Club, I just want to underline two things. The name Kairaba Conservation and Leadership Organization has two components. The first component is the conservation component, and the second one is the leadership component. On the first side, which is the conservation part of it, Kairaklo is in the process of developing programs and projects that will help to protect the Gambia's failing environment. And I always remember what the chairman says. He says the first people who were interested in the Banjul Declaration can always remember two words: flora and fauna. Well, the Gambia has lost a lot of flora and fauna since 1977. Some of these can be replaced, but others we have lost forever, especially in the some animals that used to exist in our forests are no longer there. And it will be difficult to bring them back. But those that we can do, Kairaklo will do everything to work with the stakeholders and with guidance of people like Professor Yafa and the dynamic leadership we have in the person of Her Excellency Ramzia and the chairman himself. We think we will be able to do something in that area. On the leadership aspect, Sadauda was an exemplary African leader. I don't think there are many people in his category in Africa. That is why the ECOWAS Commission, about 4 or 5 months ago, recognized Sadauda's role and awarded him posthumously a certificate, which was received in Abuja by members of his family. And we are happy that we have young people like Aisata joining, because time is going. And as we exit the scene, we hope that people like Aisata would take over from us. And that is why the leadership aspect is important in our work. We will also be organizing symposiums, workshops, and stuff like that to help inculcate the idea of responsible leadership in our young communities. I'd like to stop there and not take too much of the time from the chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the media for your patience. I thought it's necessary also to hear from the rest of the team, because our own concept of leadership is that it's a college of equals. We are all in this effort together, especially with our partners in the media. And this is not the entire board of trustees. Unavoidably, some are out of the jurisdiction. Unavoidably, some have already gotten earlier commitments. But suffice it to say that Mr. Anis Obi, who was very recently a commissioner for the ECOWAS Commission on Agriculture, is also proudly a member of the Kairaba Conservation and Leadership Organization. Our ambassador to the Republic of Sierra Leone and Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Ibrahim Mane, is not in the best of health. He is away for some medical reasons in the US. He is also a founding member. Another member of the Board of Trustees is our ambassador, formerly our ambassador to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ambassador Amadou Tal, also a dedicated public servant, and very well known amongst civil society organizations in the last 20 years or so. One other member is Mr. Aliu Jawara, a nephew of Sir Dauda, who was my own head boy in Gambia High School. And they are all unavoidably absent because of earlier commitments. But we count them among our numbers. And last but not the least is Rohi Samba Jalo, a marine engineer who for many years was working for the Gambia Maritime Administration, but I think currently working as a consultant with UN agencies in the Gambia. She's also a very dynamic member and a young member relatively. Another member of the organization is Dr. Gabu Mendy, based in Louisiana in the United States. And we are really very pleased about the quality of the members of the Board of Trustees. And like I said, all of them are serving pro bono, gratis. They are actually spending their resources and their valuable time to help this organization grow. Lastly, the chief patron and life patron of the organization is Her Excellency Lady Chilel Jawara, the former First Lady of the Gambia. She is also out of the country at the moment. She is also not in the best of health. We pray for all of them to recover the best of their health. And we hope that the centenary celebrations will revive memories of what Gambia was and what Gambia could still be in terms of the civility and consideration that we give, especially to our elders. I think Professor Yapa made the point that he considers Sir Dauda, or Sir Dauda is his father-in-law. He is the father of the nation. And this legacy belongs to all of us equally. And we should do everything possible to valorize it. This is a small effort, and we want to make it a national effort. We want to make it a collective endeavor. Because of that, we have been reaching out to as many organizations as possible, both in the public sector and in the private sector. We are happy to report to the media that we have the first many MOUs we hope to sign with the NEA. I think about a fortnight ago, just right after the Ramadan, we signed this MOU, signaling the possibility to partner across a variety of subjects. We are expecting to also sign with the National Agricultural Research Institute, NARI. We are expecting to sign another MOU with the Agricultural Directorate, Agricultural Services Directorate, with the Ministry of Basic and Higher Education, and at some point with the University of the Gambia, with the Ministry of Basic Education as well. So we believe that partnerships between the communities and natural resource agencies and the public sector and private initiatives like this can really provide long-term and impactful solutions. We hope the media will also become a strategic partner in disseminating the messages, particularly of the Banjul Declaration in the centenary year of the founder of our nation. We hope also that our activities, we have shared it, I think, amongst all of you, at least from your principals down. One thing we are really hoping we could achieve to contributing to national development. The first thing we want to do really is to minimize the use of paper in our activities. As much as possible, when we make something from paper, it should be either permanently available on display, for example, like the declaration itself, but everything else, we would want to send it through the available media channels, and they would become a permanent part of your records. So even when we are making a press release, we would want to do it electronically. Because I know some of our members are of a certain generation, they were born before computers, but this is okay. We have these tools that technology has enabled us to fix data in a permanent form, in the form of a picture or in the form of a PDF document that you can always go back to as often as possible. We all have a house called an email address. You can keep things there indefinitely, maybe until you maybe lose your password, and even that you can recover it. So that is one thing we are hoping we can influence across the whole ecosystem, especially those of us interested in conservation. So therefore, these nice documents, we hope you will treat them with care. If you have the opportunity, frame them and make them either part of your office decor or preferably displayed in a place of pride, because this is one of the activities we want to do in the centenary, and we want to also do it nationwide. So reprinting and distributing the declaration, because we think all the things we want to say really about Sadauda are captured in very beautiful language in this declaration. It's a visionary statement, it's a mission statement, and we think when we see it around us, it would be a good reminder of where we are and where we need to be. The second activity that we are going to have as part of the centenary celebrations is a symposium on the circular economy. And our theme for the first edition is waste management and opportunities for transformation in the Gambia. Again, here also we need to have what they call attitude change. People are very proud whenever they hear about how clean and how developed Rwanda is. And the solution, I have visited Rwanda a couple of times, but it is not difficult to have a clean, green country. Because you are, please. Mr. Fati is a very distinguished Gambian lawyer, and we are very pleased that he could come and join this press conference, please. So if you go to Rwanda and you are carrying a plastic bag, you will not pass through the airport. You have to, that the plane that brings it in takes it back. We don't manufacture plastic in the Gambia, so the only way plastic comes here is brought by Gambians or businesses. So the first thing we can do is to have a visa system. This single-use plastic, you just don't allow them to come in. Of course, then you have to deal with plastic of this sort. After drinking the water from it, generally we want to throw them away, but this can be a small, maybe a lemon tree. You can plant a lemon seed here or an orange seed here, and it can grow. Or tomato, you know. All you need is just a little bit of space for the seedling to start flowering. So if we can provide the information that are necessary to our communities, I think they would be in a very good position to be able to reuse and recycle some of these things. Because I go to the market sometimes for the family, and I've noticed that the woman I go to buy some of my vegetables, she also sells dege, peanut butter. But what she does is that she uses these small Armanti mayonnaise containers. I mean, she has them in two sizes. She has the glass one, and when that is filled with dege is, I think, 300, and the smaller one is 100. Just last Saturday, I bought some. Unbeknownst to her, the reason why I bought it was to take a picture of it. One with the mayonnaise, one with the dege. So that I know because she's also, I think she's of Ghanaian origin. So that kind of thinking, because if you buy the mayonnaise, you are also buying the container. So the cost of the container is sunk into it. So this kind of thinking is not very complicated. It's not rocket science. But in terms of information across the economy, whether it's the business people themselves or the consuming communities themselves, there is this information asymmetry or mismatch. So when we have a symposium of this sort, there would be, hopefully from the practitioners and the expert, the opportunity to explain the whole value chain of waste in the Gambia. What is the composition? Is it possible at source to segregate it so that you don't have plastic and eggshells and other things? All the organic material that comes out of our kitchens can be made into compost. And people like Mr. Obi, Anes Obi, were talking about organic agriculture. So even at the household level, if we can effect a simple mindset change, I think it could go a long way in promoting the ideals of the Banjul Declaration, and it can help conserve our environment. You will have less and fewer plastic bottles or plastic cans or aluminum cans or things that can be reused and or recycled. Happily, we went to visit the NEA. We found them recycle tires from motor cars, motorcycles. So it just shows you that what we need to have is a national conversation like this, so as to pay respect to the memory of Sir Dawda. So tomorrow is the 54th Republican Day of the Gambia. And we know that the people who brought us our republic have practically, for all practical reasons, been forgotten. There is no reason for us to expect that our own children will remember us, whatever our contributions may have been. And that is one of the reasons why we are so dedicated to the memory and to the legacy of Sir Dawda. Not because he was the president only or he belonged to a political party, but because of the ideas he has expressed. Because we all have ideas, we all have dreams and visions, but as long as you have not expressed them, the lawyer is here, and today also happens to be World Book and Copyright Day or World Intellectual Property Day. So I think we are doing the right thing, conserving the legacy. But we are also trying to do it in a practical way so that everybody can be included, so that everybody can do something. Like the illustration I made, this woman at the market, I'm sure is either going around trying to find these empty mayonnaise cans, or she is buying it. I don't know. But there are these opportunities there. So we think that these kind of conversations will give us takeaways and help empower communities across the board. And here, I think the media plays a very significant role, especially the national broadcaster. We invited them. We were hoping they will come also to tomorrow's event. We invited QTV. We invited Kerfatu. We invited everybody because we think that these conversations need to happen at our bedrooms, our sitting rooms, in our classrooms, everywhere where we can influence the next and coming generation. So the third item that we will be doing in the centenary, obviously, is on the leadership side. That is the annual Sadara Kairaba Jawara Pan-African lecture series. We are in advanced talks with a very eminent African and global personality to give the inaugural lecture around the birthday of Sadara, which is on the 16th of May. So we are hoping that on the 18th of May, which will be a Saturday, we will have the first lecture in the centenary year. Of course, all of these things are dependent on the schedules of these very high-profile Africans and global citizens. So we hope to have a tree planting exercise on that day and a round table to really examine the legacy of Sadauda and particularly the Banjul Declaration. And we hope also to have prayers, interdenominational prayers on the Friday of his birthday and on the Sunday of his birthday. We are planning all of these things, and according to the information we have shared with you, these programs are listed there. And just to say, we thought we will officially unveil the centenary celebrations, and what we have tried to do since the establishment of the organization is to reach out as widely as possible. We have met permanent secretaries, we have met director generals, we have discussed with non-governmental organizations, we have had meetings with both the British High Commissioner and the German embassy people. We are reaching out across the board, and the effort is to honor and to serve our nation as Sadauda would have preferred. I know sometimes I can go on and on like that, and I see my vice chairperson and my secretary general are getting a little impatient with me, but when you have the opportunity to talk about something you believe in, something you love, some of us don't put a limit to it. But I think, gentlemen and ladies of the press, I would take a pause here and thank you very much for coming. And if you have any question, I'm sure I and the rest of the Board of Trustees will be happy to answer all your questions. Huh? Huh? Oh, you want me to read it? No.
Reflection that in a relatively short period of our history, most of our larger wildlife species have disappeared together with much of the original forest cover. The survival of the wildlife still remaining with us and the setting aside of protected natural habitats for them is the concern of all of us. It would be tragic if this priceless natural heritage, the product of millions of years of fauna and flora, signed Sadauda Jawara, February 1977.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the question. And I think it is very important that we also remark and acknowledge that there is a lot of work going on in the rehabilitation of our natural environment and the conservation of it. It must be that. So we are not an activist organization, if you like. We are more in the mold of Sadauda himself to appeal directly to everybody that this is a concern for all of us. It's not only the officials or the gatekeepers. It is for everybody to have an input in this process. I'm very pleased that the American embassy wanted to build its embassy, and because of environmental protests, they decided, because of the kind of values Americans have, that you cannot take the heritage of the people and just build a fancy building there. Of course, it is ironic that our greatest convention center, which is going to host the OIC in a fortnight, was taken from Monkey Park. And even though people protested, it ended up being built. Now that it is built, it is even happening nationwide. I think Mr. Danso did mention that the minister had September wanted to add something. Mr. Danso.
Question, if I understood one or two of your concerns, is with the license that is being issued to tourists, as you highlighted, for the killing of certain animals. Well, as it is said, this organization is not out to kind of become a violent one or trying to control, actions that would be necessary. In the sense that we will be working within the laws of the Gambia. And that's the more reason why we say we'll be working civic society organizations, government institutions. This issue of the wildlife, as an institution responsible as the Parks and Wildlife Management. And then the killing of or the hunting of some of those wildlife species that you have kind of highlighted is not done outside the laws also. There are specific times of the year that are dedicated for what we call calling. That is reducing the number of certain species. Otherwise, the competition will never be balanced. And if you look at this declaration, it doesn't say anything about not reusing or maintaining a balance. It's saying conserve. And conservation here goes between just keeping them there. We will have to create the room, the space, the breeding space, the right environment for whatever species, be it the fauna or the flora, to flourish better. Even in the animal kingdom, if there are too many numbers together, they start fighting and then reduce or control their numbers naturally. So what you see being happening in terms of issuing license, they would have had clear information of the number of particular species that they would want to kind of reduce in terms of their numbers, so that there could be that natural balance. Just if that answers your question. And of course, I think the chairman said it clearly. We will have to work with the institutions that are authorized or have that mandate, irrespective of whether they are in the civil society organizations or the government institutions. But we will have to work within the framework of the laws and the policies that exist in terms of the conservation of nature in general. Thank you very much.
the most destructive element to our biodiversity in the Gambia is bushfires. It's very, very, very destructive because it kills thousands and thousands of fauna and flora. I think what we could do as an organization is to aggressively engage our legislators, our National Assembly members, either to upgrade their understanding or also remind them, because I know they must know about all these things, to remind them that it is in the best interest of this country to conserve our forests from bushfire. There are laws, but those laws are seldom enforced, even at the local level, at the chieftain level, at the chief's level, at the alcalde's level. They know, most of them know the culprits, because I've had extensive discussions with these local government officials. They know the culprits who set these bushes on fire, but they do not, or they seldom report them to the authorities so that they can be prosecuted. I think that should be one of the things that we should aggressively follow, to make sure that we minimize, if we can't stop bushfires, but we can minimize, my opinion is to 90%. Because if we minimize at that level, then our fauna, you can see in the next 5 years, my prediction is, you can see an increase in the number of fauna and flora in our forests. I think that would be a first step that we need to do, control the bushfires in our country. And the chairman talked about one of our activities that is in collaboration with, I think, Kanifi municipality on this waste and circular economy that's going to come up. I just want to report yesterday here in my office, because of that, we negotiated with a Gambian researcher from University of Stuttgart in Germany. He's in the country. So he'll be making presentation and we'll share it to a broader audience online on how to manage waste. Because we want to develop a proposal to run a pilot in Banjul and Kanifi municipality as a start, how to manage this waste, solid waste, agricultural waste. So all of you will be invited. You can join online. And when the time comes, maybe less than 10 days from today, we'll share this information even with the media and Cairo Club members, etc., etc. So we look forward to that. Thank you.
His regime, and Mr. Danso is a testimony to that. But today, you know, all those forest reserves are in a very sorry state. They have been dilapidated, they have been neglected, they have not been looked after. The fences have gone, and the forest fires have played a very devastating role in those parks. So to come to your question about enforcement, Karaklo will not be engaged in any activism. We will be reminding people, we'll be sharing ideas, we'll be encouraging governments and institutions to do the right thing. But when it comes to protesting, we will not be on the ground. I don't think we are going to go down that route. There are plenty of NGOs, there are plenty of organizations who are doing that already. What we will be doing is developing programs and projects that will help to revive or protect our environment. I always have this pet project in mind, which is the Bakau Botanical Gardens. If any of you visit that place today, you will see the difference, the sorry state it's in compared to what it was in the 60s. If you go to Abuko Nature Reserve, there's nothing there. Not even the tourists go there anymore. If you look at the Kotu Manjai stream, it's almost dead. And it's a stream, it's a water path, a wetland project that Karaklu is thinking about. If you look at the Wayeto in Lamin, Wayeto used to supply Banjul with water, but that water body is almost dead. It's still there, but it needs some care. So these are the things Kairaklu would probably be working with or on, and in the process, we have the partnership with the various organizations and ministries and departments who will be in charge, and they will be encouraged to look at the laws to make sure that once these things are revived, they are kept alive. So that's my little contribution to what you asked about.
Thank you, Kamaraba, for coming and for asking your question. In my comments earlier, I did mention that this is a Kamaraba wants to record me. Like I said in my earlier intervention, this is it's a private initiative. And our hope is that it would be a bottoms up. It would be a grassroots activity. And we are going across the country. I have this favorite story that I tell when I was a lecturer at the university here. One day I asked my students, Wolof speakers, I said, what is the color green in Wolof? The color green in Wolof. University students, law students. And nobody can give me a satisfactory answer. I told them, well, in Mandinka, it means a fresh leaf. That's what they call it. They call it jambakero, or new leaf, or whatever you call it. Then I realized it's very important that most of these remaining natural products, most of our children, my own children, they don't know it because it's not codified, it's not contained in a book. When you say green to Wolof speakers, they tell you, oh, huerta, which is French, obviously. Of course, language is extremely important in our processing of knowledge and our acquisition of knowledge. So really, this is actually at the heart of this effort, that those who even know, because the other day I went with Excellency Tambedu, we went to the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, and we found there a big tree, truly magnificent tree. I think it's the most magnificent tree in the urban area. And we were discussing whether it is Jalo or another species, yeah? And we were told that actually that tree you see there was planted by Sadauda. And there is a twin tree opposite, planted by Dr. Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia in the 80s. So nearly 40 years ago, you come and you find this really magnificent tree. If you ask any of the media practitioners here, what is a Jalo tree? What is a Keno tree? They don't know. So it would be a useful thing for us to take a picture of that and put it in a book and say, this is a Jalo, it means a mahogany tree, or it's a whatever it is. Whether it's in Fula or it's in Wolof or in Manjago, all the languages, if the words are still there, it means that they are true. They are part of the vocabulary. This so-called miracle tree, moringa, everybody talks about it. We used to call it nebedai. You know, my people say it's jambanduro. They make dishes out of it. Now they are telling us that it is it has more vitamin C than oranges. They're telling us all the wonderful things that has been scientifically established about them. But we don't know these things. Of course, we know them because we've been using them. But the kind of dosage and the way it is to be prepared to have the best benefit of it, we don't know. So language is important in this process of transmitting the message. And we are committed to come up with these picture books both in audiovisual form as well as in ebook form, to give it to our children. This declaration, we intend to distribute it nationwide, resource permitting, to all the schools that are in the Gambia, private or public. Because myself, I first saw the declaration in my primary school, in Winley, in Banjul, in the 70s, when I was in primary school. I see my Goro was in high school at that time. Yeah, so just to say what the secretary has said, it is in the messaging that is where we hope to make an impact, because we want to affect the mindset. Activism has its place, and I don't call myself a youth now. Once I was a youth. But this youth fetish, we should also stop it. Everybody was a youth once. It is a time for activism, for innovation, and for change. All over the world is young people who make change. Steve Jobs was a young man when he was building Apple. Mark Zuckerberg is still a young man when he came up with Facebook. All these transformational figures we now either hero worship or talk about. So this youth thing, I think we should have it in context. And I have said this, it's not making me very popular. But the young people are the ones who should get up and raise this nation to its proper height and go everywhere. You will be surprised, Kamaraba, very few people within this urban area have gone even past Brikam or Queen or any place like that. But there is this lady, we were schoolmates, Ajidafe. She went to her father's home in Queen in Kia and built her women warrior headquarters there. So these are the kind of messaging, because if you tell people that let's conserve our trees, and then every day you are producing paper or you are buying paper, you run the risk of contradicting yourself. Our messaging, as much as possible, will be directed at the people, and we will speak obviously in their languages. Yes, we talk to these permanent secretaries because they are the custodians of these institutions. But we want to make our institutions more Gambian and to be more profitable to the people who have asked for them to be built. I hope, Mr. Kamaraba, I have answered your question.
Mr. Kamaraba, we will use the permanent secretaries and government institutions to reach to the grassroots, because already there's something in existence, and we are not what we call a different démarche. We're going to build on what is there and try to improve on it. If we don't have any other questions, just quickly.
No, I have another engagement, but thank you so much.
I hope you will talk.
God bless.
Thank you so much. Okay. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. If there are no other questions, let me just quickly remind. Yes.
I don't see I don't know whether it's but first of all, I would want to thank you for certain initiatives.
Pertinent question. We are. We are right at the beginning of our activities, and things will develop slowly. But like the chairman said, our major partners in what we're going to do will be the media, and we intend to engage the media at every opportunity. Not many people in the Gambia would be able to read the Banjul Declaration and understand it as you have done. But with a little bit of explanation in the work that we will do, we hope that the message will filter down to the majority of the people. Except, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to just come in that I would also have organization we've just started. And one aspect also to reach out to the people out there is through audios. Everybody cannot read, but they have their telephones. Everybody have WhatsApp. If you remember during the fight for change in 2016, most of the way we reach the grassroots people is by WhatsApp audio. So we could use this in different languages to talk to these people, send audios all over the place, and let them know what is going on. Because right now, if I ask anybody here, do you remember Tesito? I don't think any of you remember. I was in school when Jawara started this, what they call Tesito, and they had it, and shortly after this, and they had the tree planting from Banjul across the country. And the tree that you saw there. Yeah, and the tree that you saw there was one of those part of the Tesito. And even the musicians, I remember Gelewar, that was a popular band here, they created a song called Tesito, which was very good. So I think now that we have started, we would want the involvement of you, the youths also, and you are welcome to join us at any time to come and make suggestions to be able to disseminate this information out there. It's very important for the grassroots to know about this Banjul Declaration and to know about how to conserve our environment. I think that's one of the suggestions I would have. And maybe as we go along, we would have more and more ideas of how to reach out to the people in the grassroots.
Even maybe also promoting through these local traditional songs.
Members of the press, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chairman, with your permission, I'll just give a brief summary of the centenary activities that are planned starting today. We have this program to celebrate Sadauda's 100 years. He will be 100 years on the 16th of May this year, and we've Karaklo, true to its mission, has developed or put together a number of activities that we intend to undertake to commemorate Sadauda's 100 years birthday. The first is this one. We are starting with this press conference and the distribution of the Banjul Declaration. It's done in a very small way this time, but as the year goes on, we'll continue to do it. We intend to give it to all the schools in the country. That is why we have an agreement with the Ministry of Education. We've been to see them, so they know what we're doing. And so they will help us distribute it to the schools and the pupils. Then on the 24th of this month, which is tomorrow, we're organizing a symposium, which the chairman alluded to. The theme is waste management and transformation opportunities in the Gambia. It will bring together, various actors in the area, including the Ministry of Environment, the National Environment Agency, and the Kanifing Municipal Council. They will all be there. We have also invited all the other municipalities, like the Pukama Area Council and the Banjul Area Council, the URR Area Council, and the Caravan, all of them. We hope they will be able to turn up. Then following that, on the birthday itself, which is May, the venue will be at the Ocean Bay Hotel on Kopi Annan Street, Cape Point. It starts at 9:30 in the morning. If those of you who are here are most welcome there. On the birthday of Sadauda, which we celebrate every year, 16th of May, we will have a televised radio roundtable discussion on the Banjul Declaration and the anniversary programs. That will be followed on Thursday, May the 16th, by a tree planting ceremony. Karaklo intends to plant 10 trees, being very modest, 10 trees, first on the grounds of the Kairaba International Conference Center, 10 trees on the grounds of the National Assembly where the Sadauda has his resting place, and then 10 trees also at his residence in Bakau, in Atlantic Boulevard. The tree planting program will continue for the rest of the year at the community levels. The life patron of the organization, Her Excellency, the former First Lady, who is the Grand Honorary Patron, we hope she will be able to attend if her health permits her. Then on Friday the 17th, we are asking all mosques in the country to offer prayers for Sadauda and the Gambia. And on the 18th, the first lecture in the series, the Kairaba Jawara Pan-African Lecture Series will be delivered. As the chairman said, we are looking at a very prominent African personality. It could be a non-Gambian, it could be a Gambian. We are not sure yet. And on the 19th, which is Sunday, we also ask all churches in the country to offer prayers for Sadauda and the Gambia. And then the celebration, our program continues thereafter with tree planting programs across the country. We will be in the rainy season then, and we'll continue hopefully. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a brief summary of what we intend to do in the next month and a half. Plans?
Press conference, like Mr. Tambido had said, and we look forward to seeing you in the rest of the program, as he mentioned, and hopefully he will share the program, and we hope to see you. It's already been shared. Yeah, very good then. And thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Gambian Talents TV. Gambian Talents TV. Promotion, population. Promoting our culture. Promoting our tradition.